Hello everyone, welcome back to Review and Rate. Today, we're entering into a world of underwater cities and crazy people. That's right, we are going to survive a plane crash in the North Atlantic Ocean and head straight into Rapture to talk about BioShock, a game developed by 2K and released in 2007. If you're a fan of first-person shooters, impressive art style visuals, and mysterious stories, you won't want to miss this review. Now, let's rescue the little sisters and get ready to enter the world of BioShock. BioShock provides an excellent gameplay experience with only a few minor issues. The game feels somewhat similar to Half-Life in how its mechanics are structured. It's easy to control, focuses heavily on combat as you progress, and blends in exploration with occasional puzzle solving elements. One of the standout design choices is the minimal use of cutscenes. They only appear during key story moments, which helps maintain immersion and keep the focus on gameplay rather than constantly interrupting the player. The progression is handled very well. You begin completely defenseless, which builds tension as the game shows you the dangers ahead. Soon after, you acquire a melee weapon, allowing you to fight back, and then the game introduces plasmids, essentially superpowers with a variety of abilities. This introduction is especially memorable, as it sets the tone for how combat and strategy will evolve.
Steady now. Your genetic code is being rewritten. Just hold on and everything will be fine.
This little fish looks like he just had his cherry popped. Wonder if he's still got some Adam on him. Let's buck. Weak! You're a weak chopper. This little fish ain't worth towing it with no Big Daddy. Yellow, always have been. You'll be no better off with Metal Daddy, little fish. See you floating from my
Mr. Bubbles, it's an angel. I can see light coming from his belly. Wait a minute, he's still breathing. It's alright. I know he'll be an angel soon.
You alright, Boyle? First time plasmid's a real kick from a mule. But there's nothing like a fistful of lightning now, is there?
The game is divided into levels that function like chapters, each representing a different area of Rapture. Despite the city being underwater and potentially repetitive in theme, the level design is strong enough that every area feels distinct. You never feel like you're revisiting the same place, and moving through these environments remains consistently engaging. What really stood out to me is how genuinely unsettling the game can be. Right from the beginning, it establishes a tense atmosphere with encounters like the Splicers, these deranged inhabitants constantly trying to kill you.
Please, lady. I didn't mean no trespass. Just don't hurt me. Just let me go. You my cut.
Is it someone new?
It escalates with disturbing moments, such as a woman appearing to comfort her baby, only to reveal she's actually cradling a revolver.
Why aren't you here? Why is it today and not then when you were warm and sweet? Oh, no. No, 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 no.
Plasmids changed everything. They destroyed our bodies, our minds. We couldn't handle it. Best friends butchering one another. Babies strangled in cribs. The whole city went to hell.
Or witnessing splicers arguing in eerie, unpredictable ways.
I'll do what I want. It's my Adam. I earned it.
You want this ugly? Or do you want this nice? I can do it either way. Open the damn door! You open up!
Be my dancer. You killed my
The dialogue from spicers adds significantly to this horror element. Whether they're talking to themselves, to each other, or directly to you, their unhinged behavior can feel both unsettling and strangely humorous at times. However, more often than not, it leans into being deeply creepy.
Why do we have 2 eyes? Is there some law that says we must? 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 ears, 2 breasts.
I push when I should pull. A man's entitled to.
They are weak, but he is strong. I'll find you, sinner, and when I do...
Looking for an invite to the fisheries. Nuts, I say. But if in your heads up to the Warp Master's office and find old Peach a research camera, maybe I could manage an invite.
We thought we could hide from the light down here.
Good.
I wore it for you, Father. It's what you like.
The game also enhances its world building through audio recordings scattered across the environment. These recordings provide insight into Rapture before its fall, adding depth to both the narrative and the setting.
Working. Imagine my surprise. I guess I'll have another drink. Here's a toast to Diane McClintock, silliest girl in Rapture. Silly enough to fall in love with Andrew Ryan. Silly enough. What happened? I'm bleeding. Oh God. What's happening?
Timmy? Ready to talk now?
Go on, Sullivan. Go on, do you, Julie? Whatever Ryan thinks he can do to me, Fontaine can do double!
Objectives are generally straightforward. At times, the game directly guides you to your destination, while in other cases it encourages exploration to figure out your next step. Important items and interactable objects are highlighted in yellow, making them easy to identify. There is a map available, but in practice, it feels unnecessary. I personally completed the entire game without relying on it, only opening it once out of curiosity. This actually works in the game's favor, as it encourages natural exploration without constantly pulling your attention away from the environment. Exploration itself is highly rewarding. Searching thoroughly can lead to valuable resources such as upgrades, ammo, and health, along with hidden story elements tucked behind locked doors. Items are scattered everywhere, encouraging you to check every container and corner. This constant sense of discovery is a big part of what makes exploration so enjoyable. You can also collect cash, which is used to purchase useful items like ammo, health packs, and other supplies. However, inventory management plays an important role. Carrying capacity has limits, especially for cash and health. While health tends to fluctuate due to constant combat, cash can reach its maximum fairly quickly since it's collected so often. This creates a satisfying loop where you're encouraged to spend resources strategically in order to keep collecting more. Managing your inventory becomes part of the fun and adds another layer to the gameplay experience. The game also features puzzle mechanics, mainly through hacking different devices and machines. These hacking sequences add variety to the gameplay and require some quick thinking. For convenience, there are auto-hack tools that hack successfully without having to do the puzzle, but they are limited, so you have to decide when it's worth using them. Throughout the game, you'll encounter various machines used for buying and upgrading. These machines allow you to purchase essentials like health and ammo, as well as improve your overall capabilities. Hacking these machines is especially useful, as it reduces the cost of items, giving you a clear advantage if you take the time to do it. One machine is mainly for health.
Feel your cravings at the circus of value.
One machine is mainly for ammo. In addition to those, there are other specialized machines. Some allow you to maximize your health for a price, others let you swap and manage different abilities, and there are crafting machines that combine collected items to create useful resources like ammo. Another important system is tonics. These function like passive skills that enhance your character's abilities, making it easier to deal with different situations and progress through the game more efficiently. Last machine is the Adam machine, which you use things like Adam you collect to upgrade, like increasing your maximum health and EV, getting new tonics, increasing abilities, and unlock and upgrade certain plasmids.
In the garden we are growing, many changes will be flowing. If you wanna be amazing, see the flowers we are raising.
Adam is a key resource in the game and is primarily collected through interactions with little sisters. You can either harvest them to gain a larger amount of Adam or rescue them for a smaller reward, while still receiving additional benefits from a character named Bridget Tenenbaum. To reach the little sisters, you must first deal with Big Daddies, large, heavily armored enemies that are amongst the toughest in the game. Defeating them allows you to interact with the little sisters, and in my case, I chose to rescue them. This choice adds a layer of strategy and morality to the gameplay.
You have shown kindness to my little ones, but are you really a friend to us? Regardless, a little one brings you a gift to demonstrate our appreciation.
Another unique mechanic is a research camera. You can take pictures of enemies, which is not only required for progression in certain sections, but also provides useful insights into enemy behavior and weaknesses, giving you an advantage in combat. Saving your progress is very flexible. You can save anytime and anywhere, and the game also includes autosaves at key moments, especially during level transitions. This makes it important to save regularly to avoid losing progress. Additionally, there are checkpoint-like systems called Vita Chambers. When you die, you respawn at these locations while the world remains largely unchanged, allowing you to continue your fight without major setbacks. As you explore Rapture, you'll frequently encounter various types of security robots. By default, these machines are hostile and will attack you on sight, but you also have the option to hack them and turn them into allies that fight other enemies for you. These defenses come in different forms. Security cameras will trigger alarms if they detect you, causing flying drones to swarm in and attack. You can either avoid detection or disable the alarm by paying to shut it down using nearby control machines. Other threats include turrets equipped with machine guns, rocket launching bots, and even flamethrower units. Each one presents a different challenge, and since they can also be destroyed, you're given multiple ways to deal with them depending on your playstyle. Plasmids, as mentioned earlier, act as superpowers that significantly expand your combat options. Using them consumes EV, which functions as a resource that can be replenished throughout the world. There is a wide variety of plasmids available. For example, Electro Bolt allows you to shock enemies, instantly killing them if they are standing on water, and can also be used to open certain doors. Incinerate lets you burn enemies and melt ice barriers. Telekinesis allows you to grab objects and hurl them at enemies. There are also plasmids that let you hack or control machines to fight for you, and even one that temporarily turns a Big Daddy into an ally. Additional plasmids can be unlocked and upgraded using Adam at the Gatherer's Garden, including abilities like freezing enemies, summoning bees, or forcing splicers to attack each other. Each plasmid comes with its own tutorial video, making it easy to understand how to use them effectively.
Throw objects at foes. You can even catch grenades and throw them back.
Alongside plasmids, the game offers a wide arsenal of weapons. You have melee options like the wrench, as well as firearms such as pistols and machine guns with different ammo types like armor piercing and anti-personnel rounds. The shotgun offers multiple shell types including electric and explosive rounds. There's also a grenade launcher that doubles as a mine launcher and a rocket launcher, as well as a chemical thrower that uses fire, ice, and electricity. And finally, the crossbow for more precise and strategic attacks. Enemies mainly consist of different types of splicers, each with unique behaviors. Thuggish splicers rely on melee attacks, redhead splicers use firearms, nitro splicers throw explosives, while spider and Houdini splicers introduce more unpredictable and aggressive patterns. Their distorted appearances and erratic behavior add to the game's unsettling atmosphere. There are also boss encounters throughout the game, although not all of them feel equally impactful. Early bosses like Dr. Steinman don't feel much different from regular enemies. However, the final confrontation with Frank Fontaine stands out as a true boss fight. It's more challenging, more intense, and feels like a proper climax. I really enjoyed that fight. While all of that works very well, there are still a few minor issues worth mentioning. First, the aiming can feel inconsistent at times. It's not always steady, and there were many moments where I struggled to line up shots properly because of how the system behaves. Occasionally, I even found myself relying more on character movement rather than precise mouse aiming just to hit targets. It's not a major flaw, but can definitely be frustrating in certain situations. Another issue is occasional crashing. It doesn't happen frequently, but when it does, it's disruptive. I experienced a few crashes during my playthrough, which made me overly cautious, saving the game every few minutes out of fear of losing progress. That constant worry took away from the overall immersion a bit. I also encountered a gameplay breaking glitch during one mission. I was supposed to locate and photograph a spider splicer, but for some reason it completely disappeared and couldn't be found anywhere. This left me stuck with no way to progress, forcing me to reload a previous save. Unfortunately, I hadn't saved manually in a while, so I had to go back to an older autosave and replay a significant portion of the game, which was quite frustrating. The last issue I ran into was related to cutscenes. For some reason, a black screen would cover a large portion of them, making it difficult to see what was happening. I tried multiple ways to fix it but couldn't resolve the problem, which made certain story moments harder to follow. Despite these issues, they are relatively minor compared to the overall experience. The gameplay as a whole remains incredibly engaging, creative, and enjoyable. Let's now talk about the story. The story of BioShock is fantastic. It's mysterious, filled with shocking moments and supported by memorable characters and villains. The very concept of Rapture, a hidden city built deep underwater, is immediately intriguing. It even makes you wonder whether something like this could ever exist in real life. What makes it even more interesting is how the city operates under its own philosophy and rules, completely separate from the outside world. People in Rapture live without traditional constraints like government, religion, or moral limits, which eventually leads to serious consequences, especially with the discovery and overuse of Adam and plasmids, pushing people into conflict and chaos. The game doesn't just explain everything to you up front. Instead, it lets you uncover the story naturally as you progress, which makes the experience more immersive and rewarding. At first, you assume you're simply playing as a silent protagonist who crash lands in the North Atlantic Ocean and is trying to escape. But as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that this isn't the full picture. Your character, Jack, actually has a deeper connection to Rapture. He was originally from there, lived in the outside world, and then returned by crashing the plane on purpose, all under someone else's influence. The game cleverly plants hints throughout, but they're easy to overlook because you're still thinking your goal is just survival and escape. One of the most important examples is how Atlas repeatedly uses the phrase "would you kindly."
Now, would you kindly find a crowbar or something? Careful now. Would you kindly lower that weapon for a minute? Head on back to Fontaine Fisheries when you're ready, would you kindly?
At first, it sounds harmless, just polite wording, but later it's revealed to be a trigger phrase that controls Jack's actions due to his past conditioning. This twist completely reframes everything you've done up to that point. That reveal is one of the most shocking moments in gaming, and it works so well because of how subtly it's built up. Combined with the mystery surrounding Rapture, questions like who the Spicers really are, what happened to the Little Sisters, why the Big Daddies exist, and how everything fell apart, it makes the story incredibly engaging. At the center of it all is Andrew Ryan, the founder of Rapture. His vision was to create a society free from government control, religion, and moral restriction, where the great are not held back by the weak.
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose Rapture. artist would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small. And with the sweat of your brow, Rapture can become your city as well.
At first, Rapture thrives. Scientists, artists, and entrepreneurs push boundaries without limitation. But everything begins to collapse after the discovery of Adam, a substance that allows genetic modification, giving people powers like telekinesis and fire manipulation. Adam is harvested from sea slugs and processed by young girls known as Little Sisters, who are protected by massive armored guardians called Big Daddies. As Adam becomes widely used, it also becomes highly addictive. People grow unstable, society begins to fall apart, and citizens eventually mutate into violent addicts known as splicers. This leads to a full-scale civil war within Rapture. A criminal mastermind named Frank Fontaine rises through the black market by controlling Adam distribution. He creates an alternate identity as Atlas, presenting himself as a hero of the working class. Ryan sees Fontaine as a major threat. Although Fontaine is believed to have died, he secretly survives and continues manipulating events from the shadows as Atlas. Ryan responds by tightening his control over Rapture, becoming increasingly authoritarian, while Atlas leads a rebellion fueled by the poor and Adam-addicted population. In the end, Rapture descends into chaos and ruin, becoming the broken world you explore throughout the game. You play as Jack, a man who survives a plane crash in the Atlantic Ocean in 1960 and discovers a lighthouse that leads him down into Rapture. Inside, you are guided through radio contact by Atlas, who asks you to help him stop Andrew Ryan and save his family. At this point, Atlas appears to be your only ally in a hostile world. But then comes one of the most famous twists in gaming history. Jack is revealed to be Andrew Ryan's illegitimate son, secretly taken away to the surface. He was later genetically engineered and conditioned by Frank Fontaine to be controlled through psychological manipulation. The phrase, "would you kindly," is revealed to be a mind control trigger embedded into Jack's conditioning. Whenever it is used, Jack is forced to obey without hesitation or resistance. This completely changes how you view everything you've done up to this point. You were never making choices on your own. The moment everything collapses is when Jack finally confronts Andrew Ryan. Ryan reveals the full truth. Jack has never had free will, and Atlas has been manipulating him the entire time. To prove it, Ryan uses the trigger phrase one last time, forcing Jack to kill him with a golf club. Ryan's final words are one of the most iconic lines in gaming history. "A man chooses, a slave obeys." This moment becomes the philosophical core of BioShock. It forces both Jack and the player to realize that every action so far was controlled, not chosen.
Sleepwalk through life until they are activated by a simple phrase spoken by their kindly master. Was a man sent to kill or a slave? A man chooses. A slave obeys. Come in. Stop, would you kindly? Would you kindly? Powerful phrase. Familiar phrase.
Would you kindly? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
Sit, would you kindly? Stand, would you kindly? Run. Stop. Turn. A man chooses. A slave obeys. Kill! A man chooses! A slave obeys!
After Ryan's death, Atlas drops his disguise and reveals his true identity as Frank Fontaine. Everything was part of his plan. He used Jack to eliminate Ryan, gain control of Rapture, and access its systems.
It's time to end this little masquerade. There ain't no Atlas, kid. Never was. Selling my line of work takes on a variety of aliases. Hell, once I was even a Chinaman for 6 months. But you've been a sport, so I guess I owe you a little honesty. The name's Frank Fontaine. I gotta say, I had a lot of business partners in my life, but you, of course, the fact that you were genetically conditioned to bark like a cocker spaniel when I said, would you kindly, might have had something to do with it, but still. As soon as that machine finishes processing the genetic key you just fished off Ryan, I'm gonna run Rapture tits to toes. You got a pal, you know what they say? Never mix business with friendship. Thanks for everything, kid. Don't forget to say hi to Ryan for me.
Key characters you encounter: Bridget Tenenbaum, a scientist who played a major role in creating the Little Sisters. Over time, she becomes guilt-ridden over what she has done and tries to atone for her actions by helping Jack break free from his conditioning and saving the Little Sisters. Sander Cohen, a deranged and obsessive artist who represents the extreme artistic decay of Rapture. He is fascinated by beauty, performance, and death. He forces Jack into a twisted artistic performance before ultimately allowing him to live and continue forward toward Ryan.
It is accomplished! Let me see it. My God, my God, it's beautiful. You'll find your path to Ryan is now clear. Tell him Sandra said hello. Oh, yes, you may avail yourself upon one of my lesser works as a token of our time together. If you had become my one and true disciple, you might have been worthy of seeing inside the box of my most private news. But who knows if that man is yet even born. Now, go!
After Jack is freed from Fontaine's control thanks to Bridget Tenenbaum.
And now you've got hooked up with Tenenbaum, huh, kid? She's a regular mother goose. Alright, fun's fun, kid. But now, go get stepped on by a Big Daddy. Would you kindly? Huh? I says, would you kindly go get stepped on by a Big Daddy? Ah, seems like Mother Goose has been playing around in your egg salad.
He finally confronts Frank Fontaine himself. In desperation, Fontaine injects himself with massive amounts of Adam, mutating into a powerful, unstable monster. Despite this transformation, Jack is able to defeat him after an intense final battle.
I had you built! I sent you topside! I called you back, showed you what you was capable of! Even that life you thought you had, that was something I dreamed up and had tattooed inside your head! Now if you don't call that family, I don't know what is! And now...
The The ending of the game then depends entirely on the choices you made with the Little Sisters. Save the Little Sisters, you get a hopeful ending where Jack escapes Rapture with them and they are given a chance at their normal life. Harvest the Little Sisters, you get a darker ending where Jack embraces power and becomes consumed by it. I personally got the hopeful ending.
They offered you this city. And you refused it. And what did you do instead? What I've come to expect of you. You saved them. You gave them the one thing that was stolen from them. A chance. A chance to learn. To find love. To live. And in the end, what was your reward? You never said. But I think I know. A family.
Now let's talk about the graphics. The graphics of BioShock are very impressive, especially considering the time it was released. While they may look a bit outdated by modern standards, they still hold up surprisingly well in many aspects. The strongest element of the visuals is definitely the art direction. Instead of relying purely on technical graphical power, the game focuses heavily on artistic design and atmosphere. This is what makes Rapture feel so striking and memorable even today. The environments are detailed, stylized, and full of character, creating a world that feels both beautiful and deeply unsettling at the same time. Character models also use a slightly stylized, almost cartoony aesthetic, which works very well with the game's tone. This design choice is especially effective for the enemy splicers, who look disturbing and unpredictable, enhancing their creepy presence throughout the game. However, despite its strong artistic direction, the visuals do show their age in certain areas. Some animations can feel stiff or outdated, and a few environments reveal the limitations of the technology at the time. These issues don't ruin the experience, but they are noticeable compared to modern standards. So now let's talk about the sound. The sound design of BioShock is excellent and plays a huge role in immersing you in the world of Rapture. The voice acting is consistently strong across all characters. One of the most impressive performances is Atlas, as his voice casually shifts into the more threatening and manipulative tone of Frank Fontaine. This change is subtle at first but becomes more impactful once a twist is revealed. The Little Sisters also stand out with their eerie yet innocent sounding voices, which becomes even more disturbing when you understand their situation. Not to mention the enemy splicers, whose distorted and unstable voices are genuinely unsettling whenever they speak. Their dialogue adds a constant layer of tension and unpredictability to encounters. Environmental audio is another major strength. The ambient sounds of Rapture, from distant creaking metal to underwater pressure effects, help create the feeling that you are truly inside a decaying underwater city. It enhances immersion and makes every area feel alive in its haunting way. The music also plays an important role in shaping the experience. It helps build tension during combat, reinforces emotional moments, and enhances the shocking narrative revealed throughout the game.
If you can reach them in Neptune's bounty, then maybe, just maybe, I know you must feel like the unluckiest man in the world right now, but you're the only hope I'll ever see my wife and child again. Go to Neptune's bounty. Find my family, please.
Come here. There's two ways to deal with a mystery. Uncover it, or eliminate it.
now move on to the final section, replayability. When it comes to replayability, BioShock doesn't offer many traditional replay features outside of its main story structure. However, despite that, it's still a game that remains very enjoyable to revisit multiple times. One way to replay the game is by increasing the difficulty. This changes the overall experience significantly, making combat more challenging and forcing you to use resources and abilities more carefully. Another approach is to focus more on exploration during subsequent playthroughs. Since the game is filled with hidden items, upgrades, and optional discoveries, replaying it allows you to uncover things you may have missed before and fully upgrade your character to become more powerful. Even without major branching paths or alternate modes, replaying the game still feels rewarding. The combination of strong gameplay, atmospheric environments, and excellent sound design naturally encourages you to return to it. There's a strong sense of immersion that makes revisiting Rapture enjoyable even after you already know the story. Now let's summarize everything with my overall impression. BioShock delivers an outstanding overall experience, combining engaging gameplay, a fantastic and deeply memorable story, strong visuals, and excellent sound design. Even its replay value, while not heavily system driven, still holds up thanks to how enjoyable the core experience is. In many ways, the game feels reminiscent of Half-Life, especially in how it blends storytelling with gameplay and immersion. Just like with that game, I found myself fully absorbed from beginning to end. Overall, BioShock is truly a masterpiece. It's a game that stands out not just for one element, but for how all of its parts come together to create something unforgettable. And for that, this is a score it deserves. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful review videos. Feel free to share your thoughts on whether the points I've raised resonate with you or if you have a different perspective. And leave your suggestions in the comments about which game you'd like to see reviewed next. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you all for watching.